get that going so that people don't miss out. But is there anybody here who was on the Pemberton, our last knit along? Nobody? It looks like new faces. Oh, and here's Rachel. She's popping on. Rachel is a friend who moved to Paris, so she's joining us probably kind of late.
9
Hi,
9 p.m. in
Rachel.
the evening because I'm moving to Italy later this year and it'll be 9
Oh,
p.m. in
Hi.
Italy.
oh,
Yes,
hi.
so I'm joining from Normandy because I live in Paris, but we also have a house in Normandy. So
Oh,
so now yeah, but
yay.
so it's
Well,
yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
seen you since you moved, so it looks like France is treating you well.
Yeah, so we had a very tough fall, but now it's good. It's much 2024 is going to be a good year. So
Yes, yes, yes,
yes,
yes,
so very
absolutely.
happy. Yeah. So
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And so, was it Linda that said you're moving to Italy?
Yep.
Oh,
when
wow.
when are you moving
Uh,
there?
Probably in June.
Okay. Well, where in Italy?
You know where Lago Maggiore is?
No.
You know where Milan is?
Yes.
Okay,
That's no
it's
north
northwest.
north part. Okay.
Yeah, northwest of Milan. Lago Maggiore is two-thirds in Italy and one-third in Switzerland.
Oh, so you're
Oh,
very nice, very nice.
awesome.
Are you moving there for work or are you retiring and moving there or
Oh, I retired a few years ago. I'm 70.
oh,
Oh my
you
goodness.
look fabulous.
Yeah.
It must be
I
all
want
the
to be like
knitting
you
that
when
keeps
I'm
you
70.
young. Right.
Wow.
Well, we're so happy to have you here. As you can see, you can still join. I think Rachel purchased the Tivoli last year and then didn't get
Yeah,
started.
I
So,
tried and then I was not successful. So I put it away and then I just did section one. And
okay.
I've tried section two and it's not working for me. So
Okay. Okay. Well, we have the solution for you guys here. We have, drum roll please, the designer of the Tivoli shawl here, Mary Pranica. How do you pronounce your last name, Mary?
Pranica.
Pranica. Okay. Let me spotlight you and add. So here we can chit chat together. So Mary's here to give us all the tips and tricks on how to um, knit the shawl. Is there anything that you want to start with? Let's see, it's noon. Is there anything you want to start with as far as an overall um, thing? Like one of my questions was all the pearls, I mean, all the slips are slipped purlwise, correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's kind of, I mean, to me, in my head, once I get started on something, that's a good thing to know.
Oh,
There,
absolutely.
it's like I don't have to think any other way, not some knitwise, not some purlwise. They're all slipped purlwise.
Right.
So
And
I'll turn it over.
the other thing with mosaic too, as you're slipping and you're going to the next stitch, I should say, they're going to knit the one after you slip. Just keep your tension a little bit loose, a little bit gentle, not super loose, but allow it to have some room, just like you would with any other type of color work. That usually works best.
Yeah, I found I started my first section here. I was a little bit tight through here.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it. I recently taught myself to knit right hand. I've been a handed knitter my whole life, and then taught myself to knit right-handed continental. And I find that I was a loose knitter left-handed, but I find that I'm kind of a tightish knitter
Mm-hmm.
right-handed. So yeah, my subsequent rows, they feel a lot better. You can just tell in the feel of the fabric
Yeah.
that they don't feel so this feels a little crunchy.
You'll have a little more stretch, and then once you block it, and one thing I will say about Woolstock Light, because I get questions on Ravelry all the time. So, and someone said, well, the shape, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna say, put it in water and block it, because if you've ever blocked Woolstock Light and put it in water, it just grows beautifully.
Because
And
obviously this is the opposite than what it's supposed to be.
exactly. Yeah, because it really, the first time I did a shawl for Blue Sky and Woolstock Light was the 14 color shawl, basically the same shape. And I was blocking it at 1 o'clock in the morning because we had a photo shoot in 2 days. But I put it in water and realized it took up my entire dining room table. And that's when I knew Woolstock Light, which was, we still hadn't released it yet. I realized, oh, that's a yarn that really blocks out. So yeah, you can see it really does open up.
That's just absolutely beautiful. Oh, Mary, that's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
It's so gorgeous. Yeah. When I saw the first time I saw your shawl, it was like, oh my, I need to learn how to do this, right? Because so yeah.
I said the same.
We'll get you going. So let me ask here, let me put everybody back on really quickly. We'll put everybody back on, and then let's just talk a little bit. If you want to raise your hand, if you have a question, we'll try to take you in order. If you want to pop a message into the chat, I'll keep an eye on that and you know, get you in order of questions. But to kick it off, can we see, has everybody started the shawl, or is everybody just at the beginning?
Just
Not
at the
everybody's
beginning.
just at the beginning. Okay, very good, very good.
I tried, but ripped it back out.
Okay, yeah. I think I ripped mine out once too.
Oh, enough. I haven't started.
You haven't started yet?
No, what I wanted to do was jump on the Zoom call, see how it's all about, and then I've got the package and everything, and come to that in a bit. I want to know how to do it before I start it.
Yeah, you're probably wise. I'm not that smart. I like to just dive in and then figure it all out as I go. And there's a couple mistakes in mine that I see, but you know what, I can live with them.
Mistakes don't bother me, you know, and I can cable, and I've done a little color work, but I've never done a shawl. So I just want to know which way I go, etc., before I start.
Exactly. And who has done mosaic knitting?
No.
Nobody's okay. Very good. Gail's done mosaic.
I have done the whole shawl.
Wow.
Oh, Lorna, you're the one who knit it, who's knitting it again.
Yes.
Hi, Lorna.
Hi, Pamela. Nice to meet you. And I want to make another one, and where you were sending me a different color scheme. So
yeah.
Just so I didn't want to make the same exact thing twice, but I loved knitting it. However, I did wind up with it too not wide enough, and that may be a tension problem for me. But also, you're all holding up what you've done. I want to see the very top, because the introduction stitches there, that little section up there, I find protrudes and sticks out and is not
okay,
not shawly.
Okay, so Mary, you're on.
All right. So yeah, mine still does a little bit. What I found, and I tried various casts on. One of them was an I-cord cast on that was even a bigger bump at the top. So I was like, not gonna work. When I was wet blocking it, and I got a lot of it out by wet blocking it, but also by running wires through the edges. Help too.
Yeah.
And really, once it's pinned down,
it kind of
it's
goes
like taking it and fussing it this way.
Yeah.
So you're fussing it towards the border. It's this one definitely with a semicircular. I always find the magic really happens in the blocking.
I see.
So
can I ask?
I'm gonna sew that down. I'm gonna take that whole top section and just turn it under.
Yeah, you totally could. You could just turn a quick little row under like that.
Yeah, because I just couldn't pull it out.
Yeah.
Uh,
That
so
would
when I
make it
make it
stronger
again,
there at the top, which is
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
What cast on method do you recommend?
The cast on one I did in the pattern. I-cord cast on, and I did it on a shawl years ago, but I kept getting the weird heat. So that's why I just do a regular cast on. You've got your I-cord on either side, and I know you've got a little divot in the middle.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of using your tail to fix things, and that's where you join those two together using your tail to clean it up.
Yeah, I
Okay.
already did that. I can demonstrate actually here. Where am I? I already did that. I don't know. Can you see? I just put my tail in and took 3 stitches and it's all connected because I had that U, like you said, that divot. So does everybody, well, if you haven't knit it yet, you probably don't know what we're talking about, but
No.
No, I don't. But I'll figure it out.
Okay. Okay, Rachel has her hand up.
So sorry. So what do you mean by tail? Because I did this part and I can see there's a little, you know, leap
Mhm.
or something.
Right.
So what do you mean using the tail? So what's this part?
Use
And then
that
you
to-
just, sorry, I'll go on mute then.
No, that's okay. I'm still getting work emails flying through. Yeah, so that little tail that you held up, you would use that or another scrap piece to sew your one side to your other side to close that up.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else have a question?
I just had a comment. I did mosaic my first time. I did a knit along with I think Cascade. And for anyone who hasn't done it, once you do a little bit of it, it's really not that hard. I found it not as challenging as it looked. I was very happy to learn it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. And the definition of mosaic knitting as compared to Fair Isle, Mary, how would you describe the difference?
So in mosaic, you're only working one color at a time. So if you're working with the light yarn, you're slipping the dark yarn. You're slipping it purlwise and then working whatever stitch is called for with your light yarn. And then when you work on the wrong side and you're coming back, you're just doing everything that you did on the right side, only purlwise. And then the next row, you'll move to the dark color, do those stitches, flip your light colors. And then once again, on the way back, you're basically duplicating the row you just did. But you're only ever working with one color at a time. So you're not worrying that, oh, I'm holding 2 colors and I'm catching floats. None of that's happening. You're only using one color at a time. With Fair Isle, you always have 2 colors. Well, I shouldn't say always. There are periods in between, but for the most part, it's going to be 2 colors in every row. And you may or may not have to catch floats or twist the yarns to make sure that you don't have long floats that could snag and catch.
Right. And that brings up another question that I had. It seems to me like it naturally, the edge just kind of naturally creates a nice edge.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no need to twist yarn or to do anything different. No need with that. I did snip the ember.
Yep.
Because, that seemed like
there's no need to carry that all the way up. That just seems like way too much to deal with.
Right.
And have 3 balls of yarn attached to your work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just weave the ember glow in or the contrast.
Okay, cool. All right, Gail, you have a question?
I was just very curious because how are we knitting this that we need to do a Kitchener stitch? Are you doing it in 2 halves and then we seam it up the back or what?
So what's going to happen? You're only going to Kitchener 3 stitches.
Oh,
That's it. I mean, really good. I know how everyone feels about Kitchener. I have to look it up every time myself, even when I'm doing the toes on socks. So yeah. Okay. So when you're doing the border, you're
Mhm.
actually going to be working it sideways.
Oh,
So once, and I know this is the question that's going to come up eventually. You start by making an I cord with the last three or the first three stitches, and you're going to turn it.
Aha.
And you are going to be working back and forth. And every time you do a right side row, you actually knit one of the border stitches with a shawl body stitch. And eventually the shawl just grows off your needle. And you get all the way to the very end. And when you do the last I cord bind off, you're going to have 3 live stitches here and 3 live stitches here, and you're just going to Kitchener 3 stitches, and that's it.
Good.
So
okay. And if everybody gets this knit, Mary won't be here for, you know, the next 2, but I'll try to, you know, knit mine and be up to that point so that we can kind of all do it together if we have questions when we actually get to it. But or I know where Mary lives, so
you know
I don't
exactly
even
where.
know what the term Kitchener means.
oh, okay.
So when you Kitchener stitches together, you're taking live stitches and live stitches, and that way you're hand sewing them in such a way that you're mimicking a row of knit in between them, so it looks like they were perfectly joined without there being a seam. Like it's actually pretty flawless.
Yeah, it just looks like a one hole. Yeah. In fact, I'm not even sure. It'll be interesting. I'm not even sure how you Kitchener just 3 stitches.
It's
almost nothing.
You're just doing 3 to 3, so
It's-
it's really quick grafting.
It's in the instructions, right? I read
Yeah.
that.
What a concept.
Yeah, really.
Okay, does anybody else have any other questions?
I will
Oh.
say the question I get most often is about the border, because even though I write in there, it's perpendicular to the body. I mean, like we really, the tech editors and everyone at Blue Sky, we really try to make it super clear. I will just give you my one piece of wisdom, because I learned to knit before the internet, and I taught myself how to knit socks. And I know what's like when you're like, this doesn't make sense. I always give this advice: read a step, do a step. And just because by the time you get through all the steps, it 100% makes sense. And it sometimes won't make sense until you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any other questions, Mary, that come up often that maybe, or maybe even at the beginning of the casting on and that first little section here, there's no questions in that?
It's always on the border.
It's always on the border. Okay.
It's always on the border, and that's okay. And I mean, obviously Pam can get a hold of me, and I can always jump in on another Zoom call.
Yeah.
And I always advise with
Oh.
the shawl to especially wet block it. And wires will make all the difference in getting the curve just to look nice and clean. And
How do I put my hand up?
Well, how do I put it down?
Oh, Gail.
How do I put it down? Oh, here, lower. Sorry.
The wet blocking, do you soak it for what, a half an hour or something? Just let it soak or let it sit for a little bit?
let sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. I mean, until it's fully saturated. And then always to have plenty of towels on hand, because I love to just like give it a nice little squish in the water and then roll it in a towel and then take it out of that one, maybe throw it in another one. If you really want to get the water out, and I'm going to say that I thought I was crazy for doing this. And then when I found out Stephanie Pearl McPhee did it, I felt lots better. And that is, while the roll is there, put it on the floor and step on it to get the rest of it out. It works.
I do that too.
that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Because back home, my mom used to have a wringer washer, and especially in heavy sweaters, it was great to just run it through the wringer to get excess water out. But without that, I say put in a towel, step on it, and get the water out.
And then put your wire through. Put the
Mhm.
wire through the top, not
I
not
always-
the curved edge. Or do the curved edge too?
Yeah. So I did the wire through. I did wires through this all the way through. And of course, it did bounce back a little bit because of this. But I put wires all the way through the straight edge first. And then while that's nice and secure, I move downwards and then get the wires through the curve and just get it pinned and then keep tug, pin, tug. You work it little bit by little bit, and sometimes you gotta scooch a little bit this way, a little bit that way.
Yeah.
Raise hand.
Okay.
Sorry.
There we go.
Will you be showing pictures of pinning? I've never pinned. I've never actually done any form of pressing it out or whatever. You know,
You know-
and that's why I sort of joined this, because I was hoping it's like I can knit, I can purl, I can do collar work, but I've never done that finishing part.
Okay. I'm gonna see if somewhere in the backlog of photos, because I think we took a photo of this while it was blocking, because it was on the dining
Fantastic.
table of
Yep.
Blue Sky. So I'll
That
take
would
a
be
look around.
helpful.
Got it. Yeah.
Awesome. Right.
Dawn,
The
I'm
other-
with you.
Excellent, right? So women in power, right? So the other thing that I'm interested in also is, you know how you said on that wonderful border, which looks so pretty, right? We're going to turn it around and we're going to join it in with one stitch of the other part,
Mhm.
correct? Right. I'm also interested in seeing someone, how they actually pick that stitch up. How do you decipher which is that stitch to pick up, right? Because I've done that and then thought, crap, I don't have 3 stitches at the end, because and it's a lot of pulling undone, right?
Once you're working in the border pattern and
Yeah.
staying in the actual pattern itself,
Yep.
you'll see. It's so hard. It's been a while since I've done it though. But yeah, once you're working in that border pattern, you'll always know when you get to there. And by doing it that way, you also end up with a braid right here.
Okay.
You'll actually physically see
well,
it.
okay. All right. Yeah, as soon as you
And
said the
remember
word
too,
pick up, I'm like, ugh.
yeah.
Go on.
And remember too, Dawn, that we're going to be knitting this together. It's going to be another 4 weeks. In 2 weeks we'll
Yeah.
have another session, and in 2 weeks we'll have another session. So
Right.
we'll do some of these things together as well. This is
Right.
just a nice kind of overview. Sometimes
Right.
people like to go on ahead, which is fine, but
And I'd rather stay behind and let you guys make the mistakes. And then I can see what those mistakes are and say, well, I'm not going to do that. So
well, I'll make them for you.
thank you. Yeah.
But we'll do this together. So when we get down to those points, I'll either video them when I'm doing them,
Fantastic.
so I can play them during the knit along, or do them live when we're here on the knit along
Wonderful.
together. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Yes.
And because I am keen, because I did a 3-hour journey to get my pack today.
Oh wow. That's
Today. So,
Oh.
I'm not wound up. I'm not,
Okay. All right, Jamie, let me put you on. You have a question?
I do. I don't, nobody else seems to have the question. I've knitted my whole entire life, but in the beginning, when you do in one of the times when you do the yarn over slip one, I inevitably, the yarn over, I lose it. So what am I doing wrong. So the yarn over doesn't stay a yarn over when I slip the stitch. And let's see where let me see what row that's on.
It's in part 1, right? Because I had the same
Yes, ma'am.
issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part 1, and it's gosh, now I don't know where
So
it.
mine,
Row
I had the same
6?
problem as you,
Or row
Jamie?
2?
No, it's a little further down.
Is it when I think you do when you alternate row 7 and 8, maybe, or?
No, there's no
Um,
yarn overs
Somehow
in
when
those.
you go to do the salvage, one of the things is before you do that, move the marker, you're supposed to yarn over. It's somewhere
no,
where you have the yarn over before you move the marker, and then
Oh, yeah.
the
yeah.
next thing to do is slip a stitch. Well, and
Yeah.
I inevitably lose that yarn over.
Yeah.
So I don't have the extra stitch that it's supposed to create.
I hate
You
not
need to
having
do it
yarn over
almost
so
other
like
markers.
when you're doing yarn over for a purl stitch, you give that extra little loop around.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Okay,
you
well, I'll
you
have to,
yarn over.
I'll have to Google how to do that.
Well,
I mean, I know how to do it. It's just I don't remember how to do it. You know, it's been a while. I crochet more than I knit.
Yeah, you bring it forward as if you're doing a purl stitch and then
Right.
bring it over the needle and hold it to the back and then slip the next stitch.
Yeah.
But when
Okay.
there's a marker involved, when you have to yarn over near a marker, I always wind up with it on the wrong side of the marker. You know,
Yes.
you have to
me
look on the
too.
wrong side
Me
of the
too.
marker.
Yeah. That's
And
that's where I
and
found it.
sometimes I just watch it and make sure to slip it back in the right place where it belongs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was doing a yarn over next to a marker to be a little bit tricky.
now, Mary, I think I think where they're having the problem is they're yarning over and then they're supposed to be on with the yarn in front when they slip the next stitch.
Right.
I think that's so you yarn over, you pull it to the front, you slip the next stitch, and then you put it to the back to knit.
Mhm.
And that will make sure that yarn over stays. Does that make sense to everybody?
No.
Okay, so when you yarn over, you pull the yarn to the front
Okay.
and you yarn over the needle, and then the next one is a slip. So keep going around, don't stop, just keep going around and pull the yarn to the front again to slip. And then the next one's a knit, so you have to then put the yarn in the back. So once you have that knit stitch in, you've got that yarn over locked.
Yeah. So I'm probably not pulling the yarn front enough
Yeah.
to lock it before I do the
You're
slip.
probably not pulling it to the front to do the next slip stitch,
Right.
and so it's disappearing.
Right. I'm like,
Does
I
that
don't
make
have
sense,
11
Rachel?
stitches.
I vote.
Yeah, I had the same issue. So
Does
I
that
had
make
to,
sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and also is everybody in the Facebook group? If you haven't already, hop into the Facebook group so that we can help you in between. You can ask me questions in between. Okay. Anybody else?
Question?
Yes, yes. I'm sorry. Can you raise your hand again?
Right
Oh, here we are.
You've mentioned using the wire. That's a new thing for me. I mean, I've blocked my things, but I just put them out and use pins in them. But is this something I get to learn?
With a wire, and they come in
Different
usually get
lengths.
them in a full set. There you go.
Ah,
And what's really nice about it is that you can actually almost take it like you're threading it through the I-cord edge
and shape it.
and shape it, and it just keeps the line really clean, because sometimes
It's real.
I can do pins on a lot of things, but on something like this, I like wires because the line is just really clean. So if you use a pin, sometimes, it can pull a little bit.
Yep.
Where this will just keep it blocked really nice and neat.
Great.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I did not do a lot with wires until I had started knitting shawls, because mostly I'm a garment knitter. I love sweaters. Sweaters are my jam. But yeah, for shawls, especially if you want to get some nice straight edges, the wires really do help. Otherwise, if you don't have curves, but I mean, another thing you can use for your straight edge, Pam, do you have knit blockers?
Mhm.
Knit blockers are a really cool thing that I just love having to. Oh no, okay.
No.
My knit blockers are downstairs. They're like a plastic bar with the little teeth.
Oh yeah, I
It's
have
like
those too.
multiple pins.
See?
Yeah, those are really amazing for straight edges. So even if you're, let's say borrowing some wires from a friend to do the curve and you want to use that for the straight edges, it works really, really well. And it
Yeah,
works
they
well
they
for the one
eliminate
that's too
those.
for a straight edge. Yeah.
But neither one of these, either these or the wires, they're not terribly expensive. They're a few dollars on Amazon. They're not like buying needles or anything like that.
But you do
Does
want to
that
make sure
answer-
you get the ones that
Yeah.
don't rust.
Yes.
Oh. So what are they called?
Oh,
What?
they're called
Knit
No,
knit
the
blockers.
wires.
knit
Oh,
blockers.
the wires. They're this one is a knit and lace blocking wire kit.
Ah.
And I got this off Amazon as well.
Mhm.
There's 12 36-inch wires that are more rigid, and then there's 224 that are a little flexible. Anyway,
Okay.
in there.
That's great. Thank you.
Did that answer your question, Christine?
Yep.
Okay. Rachel, you have another question?
I'm sorry, my cat's been bugging my screen, so he woke up from his nap. Okay.
Oh,
Yes, I guess I have two questions. One sub question about this wire thing. So I'm not sure I would use it this much, and I have a feeling it would be hard for me. I don't know, to like put it into the I-cord edge. So I'm wondering with the pin, the blocking pin that you have, Pam. So that's what I have. So would that be enough to put it to use? Like, would it be a good enough alternative? Yeah. Okay.
I think you can. You just have to take your time blocking the whole curve out. It
Right.
really
To
does.
put to carefully
Yeah.
have it brown, and okay, that's good. So I redid the section 1 a few times, and then I succeeded, so that was good, until I tried the section 2 and failed, and then I put a lifeline, and then I don't know, I was not able to go back because it was I guess with the different stitches I was not able to, to go back to so I had to undo the whole shebang. So I don't know if you have a tip when it's not like just stockinette or garter stitch, if you have a good a tip to go back to the like other section when using a lifeline, or then I think I'm just gonna practice. I think I'm gonna when I'm ready to start a new section, I think I'm gonna just put my shawl aside and then just practice that section with other yarn and other set of needles to make sure I understand how I'm supposed to do it, and then
I think that's a great idea. I really do. No, because sometimes, especially with multiple colors, it's hard to rip back to a lifeline. And I know every time when I've done maybe a stitch pattern that I'm not sure of, I'd much rather practice it with other yarn on other needles and know that I've got it before going back into my project and then making a mistake and ripping it all out again. So I think that's a really good plan.
Okay. I'm
Why
gonna
do you
do
have
that.
to,
Thanks.
why do you have to rip it all out? Why can't you just go back, a couple of rows till where you've got the stitch pattern, and then you can finish the couple of rows that you tore out? Why do
It's
you have
hard
to
to
tear it
pick
all out?
up. I think this is hard to pick up. I did rip it out and pick it up, and it was tough.
Because of all the yarn over?
Wouldn't you agree, Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Depending on where you rip it back to, yeah, it can be a pain.
Still better than ripping it all out.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did it, but I'm just saying a lifeline is much easier than trying
Not.
to, yeah.
What do you mean by a lifeline? Looks like floss.
Yes, I use dental floss, but you can use spare yarn. I just like the floss because it's so tiny, and I just put it like in my, I have the Knit Pro, so I don't know. Yeah.
But
So then I just put it there, right? Exactly. Yeah, it's the same as your look, the leak, whatever, or it's the same brand. It's just this is the French name. But then, so then it's just easy for I like it. I like to use floss, but
Yeah, if you see, especially with the interchangeables, there will always be a second hole that you can, and dental floss is easy because it doesn't stick to your yarn, so you can remove it easily as well when you work on it. So it actually, I've always heard it recommended to use dental floss, but yeah, you can easily then thread it through the extra hole and you carry it along as you work. So it's there. If you don't need it at the end of the day, then all you do just pull it out and then you're good.
Okay,
and I
so
reuse it also. I just reuse it for the next step. I don't reuse it for my teeth. I reuse it. Just wanted to make sure that this was.
We knew what you meant, but that's funny. Well, we know they do things different in France. Oh Lord. Oh gosh.
It's going
Does
to have to be
everybody-
twice. It's going to have to be twice as long for your next section, though. I don't think saving it for the next section is going to work in this because it gets so much bigger at each chain. So you're going to need a lot much longer floss second time and third time.
Yeah, you double the stitches.
Mhm.
Now, Lorna, you gave yours to your daughter. You don't have your finished one.
No, I do have it, but I'm not home.
Oh, got it.
I'm away. I'm sorry. I didn't think to bring it with me for this. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it. I'm here for a godson's birthday party. So.
Oh, fun. Oh, I'm so glad you were able to join. Yeah, that's great.
Me too.
That's great. Okay. Well, I'm so excited about this shawl. I want to have it done. I have something going on that I want to wear it for soon. Wow. So I'm really excited. I say soon. I've always got 4 or 5, 6 things going at once. So I'm looking here. Anybody else have any questions? You excited about starting? Jamie, you know now about the keeping that
Hopefully. I think I'm gonna do what the other lady said, though. I think I might take some of my stash and take other needles and just try it maybe with a little bit thicker yarn and see if I can get it down with the thicker yarn and then apply it using the smaller, thinner yarn for the shawl, actually. So that's gonna be less painless.
Well, and if you're in the Facebook group, you can always ask me. You can ask Shona or you can ask me in the group, and we'll help you as much as we can. I am gone next week, so won't be in the group for most of next week, but back for the weekend. So.
Well, I don't remember you asking us if you could go anywhere.
I was thinking exactly the same.
I wasn't going to say this, but this is like my first vacation in almost 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so excited. We're heading out to we live on the coast here in Southern California, and we're heading out. We're tennis fans, so we're heading out to Indian Wells to go to the tournament there next
Oh,
week. So we're
nice.
driving out to the desert. It's just a short drive, and going to
Should be
spend a few
beautiful.
days watching tennis and enjoying the sun.
Yeah.
So
It'd be good.
yeah, it'll be great. I might even get some knitting done.
There you
I'm sure
go.
you will. Although it's hard to watch tennis and knit. That's a
Yeah,
Yeah. Especially this pattern, right?
yeah, right.
yeah. You can't believe how scattered my head is, and it's like the simplest of little lace patterns I get off, and it's like, how did I do that? I can't even watch a simple little television program. I don't know. I think my head's in too many places these days.
I'm the same way. I have found lately I'm falling asleep knitting, and I go back and check my last row or two. I go, what the hell was that?
Oh my, I was going to say exactly the same. I've been knitting it and I thought, I'll just finish the row, Pick it up in the morning and I'm like, that shouldn't be pearl, that shouldn't be, what the hell have I done? Right?
I
I'm
feel a lot
convinced
better.
it was correct. Right? So proud, put it down and no.
I found the hardest part in mosaic when I learned was not purling the slip stitches.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something for new mosaic people to remember.
Actually, I'm doing a blanket right now which has 2 lots of variegated yarn, and it's literally like slip one with the yarn in front and on the way back it's the yarn in back, etc. And yes, I've found where there's been 2 little parts where I'm like, damn, I purled the stitch instead of slipping that stitch.
And that's funny because I look so forward to slipping them. I go, oh, this row just goes so fast because you're slipping all those stitches away.
That is the nice part about mosaic, is that you're like, oh, I'm slipping, so it goes twice as fast. I always find with mosaic, kind of like doing 2-color or just doing brioche in general, is that you almost have to have your own very peaceful mantra in your head saying, flip it, knit it, flip it. It's like, I've got a whole different one for brioche, but it's like you just get into that headspace, and by the time you're going to get to your next project, you're going to be slipping the yarn when you're not supposed to.
That's really true.
Well, maybe it's good that I'm picking this up because I'm now, because of the fact of I was seriously not going to start it until this series was over, but now I'm convinced I need to, right? So now I'm going to put little stoppers on my blanket, and I'm in that mindset of slip it and knit it, slip it and knit it, slip it and purl. Right?
It's a little rhythm.
Yarn in the back, yarn in the front. So hopefully,
But that's testament to how resilient we are. We're such wonderful adapters of our little rhythms, and I'm really looking forward to knitting another one. I so enjoyed knitting this. I must tell you, it looked so complicated. It wasn't to knit. I got into the rhythms very easily, and I so loved the. It looks so gorgeous. So thank you for the design, and
Oh yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I mean, it was one of those things that I really enjoyed, but I'm also very much a color work person. So, but to me, I think even with mosaic, as it comes off the needles, it's always so magical because you're making a full patterned fabric, and just it's happening in front of you. That's the most satisfying part.
Yeah, that's true.
For me, in knitting I think I'm thinking about what I do when I'm knitting it, and I think I just get it in my head that the color I'm knitting with, my dominant color, the one that I'm knitting with at that time, I slip the ones that aren't that color. That kind of helps me, it's like, right? Am I right? Yeah,
I get that. All right, well, I'm going to go get onto the Facebook thing because I haven't done that yet. I don't know how many people you have on there. Is that just people who are doing this project, or is that everybody on?
No, that's our Facebook group. Let me get you the link.
I see.
think I'm
the Dizzy Knitter Facebook group. It's for all of the knits that we
I see.
do.
Yeah. Well, then I
yeah,
may
the
even be
Dizzy
on.
Knitter group, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I'm on.
Good.
Well, la-di-da for you.
I'm in. Oh dear.
See.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So I like numbers, and it helps me like to I guess make sure I'm where I should be. So I'm good to know the number of stitches until section 3, and then I cannot find the number of stitches where I'm supposed to be. So then it's I don't know if I'm not looking where I should be looking.
I have the yeah.
I actually don't have a copy of it in front of me.
I have
Okay.
a copy of the pattern in front of me, and in section 3, yeah, you've got your first part that says 162 stitches, and then after that, yeah. Oh no, 318 stitches there.
Yeah, 318, and then after that, I don't know
There aren't
how
any,
many
right.
stitches
Aren't
I'm
any more
supposed to have.
increases after that.
There's no increase?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, so that's it.
380 is the maximum. Woohoo!
So we finish. Okay, so then, all right. Okay, so then, okay, I'll write this. Oh, I thought it was increasing until the end. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's amazing that it grows like it does without adding more stitches. I find that just
yes, it goes like
incredible.
that.
So with a half pie shawl, the math behind it is really one of those weird things I actually researched. Every time you double the amount of rows you've worked, you double the amount of stitches on your needle. So if you think that if you do a double at 8, you're going to do it at 16, you're going to do it at 32, you're going to do it at 64. But excremental, that's not what I meant to say. Incrementally, that's how you get it to grow. It's not 100% mathematically correct, because in order to fit the stitch patterns within a certain number of rows, it might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less. I fudged it a little bit because obviously for the visual sake of it, but you're still going to get the full shape.
Nice.
Yep. So do you just love math, Mary?
No. I had someone once ask me what are the things I learned by knitting and designing. And I always like geometry, by the way. That was my favorite in my math classes. Geometry was number 1. I realized, though, I was always good at word problems in algebra. And to me, design is a word problem. If I want the square to be X number of inches and there are this many stitches per inch. So yes, I've gotten really good at math, and I just really tackle it like a word problem and plug in the numbers.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, I have to ask one of my coworkers, and it's like, did I fall down a rabbit hole? He'll double check. But yeah, I've gotten much better at it.
Good.
I know so many designers are, people that are in the science, side of things, because everything is so math, and I can't stand math. So I don't know, maybe I'll never be a designer.
No. I think the math part you eventually learn, as long as you understand knitting itself, engage, and how everything measures out in stitches. I came at it I've got my BA in apparel design, so I actually know how a garment should go together, how it should fit, what the I'm like all that technical part of it. That's what I do. I thank God we have someone who grades patterns, because that's something that I really respect. Anyone who can come through and do the pattern grading everywhere from an extra small up to a 5X, because that's number crunching on a different level. But yeah.
So Mary, do you have any designs in the upcoming 2024 designs coming out? You do? Oh, good.
I do. I've got 2 designs. One of them is on the cover of the spring lookbook, so you'll see it right away. But yes, we are, and it's something we revealed at H&H last summer. And it's what, March 9th? Okay, April 1st, we have a brand new yarn coming out. And it is organic cotton sport.
Ooh.
So our organic cotton worsted is one of our most popular yarns, alongside the wool stock yarns, but we wanted something that was lightweight, that you really could make an easy summer sweater out of, a summer shawl, because the worsted is lovely, but dang, it's heavy. And this is really lovely to work with. I'm not a cotton knitter. I'm a wool girl through and through. I really enjoyed working with this. It just works up beautifully. It's very soft. It does not hurt your hands, because I know for me personally, cotton does hurt my hands, especially a worsted weight cotton it's a little bit tough on right here. Ooh, hurts.
Yeah.
This is really easy to work with, and I really enjoy it a lot. Our project manager laughed because she couldn't believe I did 2 designs in cotton. So but yeah, so that will be available on April 1st, along with our new spring patterns. And we've got 6, I believe, that are for the organic cotton sport.
Yeah, this is lovely. Lovely yarn. I love the color. Yeah.
I love that color. That green is like super sharp.
Isn't it beautiful?
Pickle. Happen to know the color name. Yeah, that one's pickle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dill or sweet?
I like to say dill, but yeah, and there'll be 21 colors. All of the colors are coming directly from the worsted palette. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. We know those colors are great. So yeah, it's going to be a great summer alternative, or for anyone who prefers not to work with animal products and wants to do the cotton. It's a really great option.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a nice, a lovely weight. Lovely weight. It feels really good. So everybody's got the link. So any more questions?
Where does Mary live?
I live in Minnesota. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. And our office is outside the Twin Cities. So every time you look at one of those really beautiful photos of the model standing out in a field and the sky, and that's in a cornfield behind our building.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So yeah, there are just 7 of us. We have our marketing person lives out in Austin, Texas, but there are just 7 of us who are headquartered out of the office, and we do our photo shoots in essentially our backyard.
Nice.
So,
Well, in my opinion, Blue Sky has some of the most beautiful photos around. They're really lovely. You do a lovely job.
yeah, we've got a really talented team, and our graphic designer who has to go through and do the edits and all that stuff. I mean, they do such great work in putting everything together that it's just amazing.
It's really a treat to work with your designs. Your yarn is lovely, everything. It's just perfect. Well, if nobody has any other questions, maybe we'll wrap it up for today.
Thanks for having
Pat,
us.
are you knitting on the Tivoli, Pat? I see you knitting there.
I bet not.
Oh,
Can find my camera. Sorry.
oh, you gotta.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there it is. There
Oh,
it is.
Yay!
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
I'm on section 3. I did rip it out once because it was looking funky. So I ripped it out and started over. This was a birthday present from my husband. He bought me the kit.
Nice.
Lovely present.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited. So I was concerned about that thing here at the end too, that I can just use the thing and
And just
Hook them
close it up.
together, close it up. All right. And these edges, when I block it, they'll flatten out because they're kind of curly.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I've never blocked anything. Most of my knitting, I've been knitting since I was a teenager, but I've primarily worked with acrylics.
Oh yeah.
Wool usually is pretty itchy for me. This
Mhm.
is a pretty nice yarn. I'm not itchy with it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you'll be itchy with it.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
nice. I was a little concerned, but it's pretty nice. Yeah.
It's
Good.
very nice. I just started and it feels so nice in my hand. Because I
Yeah.
usually like very, like things that have cashmere or something in them just because I don't like wool. But this is a lovely wool.
Yeah.
Just
I agree.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Just
And
beautiful.
I've been knitting with wool stock for years, even before I worked at Blue Sky. And every time I pick up, I go, "Oh, this is really, oh yeah, it's wool stock." Fun fact: it's made from Peruvian Highland sheep. And Peruvian Highland sheep. And it was interesting. I was doing this research. We did a informational yarn video, so I like dove deep. It is an actual separate breed of sheep, not just because it's in Peru and it's in the highlands. It's actually a crossbreed of Merino and Corriedale. So you're getting that softness and smoothness of the Merino, but the bounce and the structure from a Corriedale sheep. So it's kind of the best of both worlds with it, which is why it's very different.
I see.
That's nice to know. I actually wondered that myself. So it's very nice to know. Let's see, Lori, are you in good shape?
I don't know yet. I haven't started, so we'll see. I'm not as experienced as some of you on here, and but I have been looking at the photographs of this shawl for over a year, and just I literally go onto the Blue Sky site and just drool and look, and I have a whole list of things I want to make, but yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna give it a try. We'll see what happens.
Knitting is just one thing. I think Mary said this: you just do one thing and then you do the next thing and then the next, and sometimes we need a little bit of, okay, did we execute it in the correct way once in a while, but pretty much it's just a building on the last thing that you did. So I have every confidence that you can do it. Hop onto the Facebook group, and if you need help in between, we'll try to get you going. And then if not, we'll see you here on the next session in a couple weeks, and work over any problems that you might have come across in the last couple weeks. But we'll get you through it. Don't worry. And it's just knitting, so it's not like we're saving the world.
No, yeah, no, it's not.
We're saving ourselves.
Yeah, no, it's not heart surgery or anything like that, brain surgery. So and I'm not afraid of mistakes. Like I long learned that my knitting is full of mistakes, but I had a girlfriend tell me, but that just shows how much love it has. And so,
Exactly.
and it is, so I don't tear it out and expect it to be perfect. And sometimes I just work through my mistakes, and sometimes I can't. Sometimes you have to tear it out, but
no,
Okay,
I'm with
so-
you.
And sometimes it can just fudge it and no one will ever know.
right. Except, yeah, you're the only one who'll ever know. And it's not that you can even see it. It's just, you'll know it's there. So, yeah.
So I
If
have,
they're looking that close, they're too close.
Right.
I've always said that. You're in my personal space at that point.
Yes, if you can see my knitting mistake, you're too close.
Get out of my bubble.
Yes, that's right.
Oh dear.
Linda, did you have your hand up?
yes, I did. I've never followed instructions that are as so many detailed with so many little steps on them. So I've just done row 1, and how many stitches am I supposed to have visible after row 1?
8.
8.
8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 10.
You must have yarned over too many times somewhere. Right, Mary?
That would be it, yeah.
Mm.
I'm not getting the yarn over then.
And then the row two, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
No.
row one doesn't have any yarn overs. Yeah, there shouldn't be,
No,
yeah, there shouldn't be any problems with
no, because it says, knit one, slip one with yarn in front. And then when I go to knit the next stitch, I end up with a piece of yarn over top of the
Okay.
needle.
Oh,
So you knit one, then bring the yarn to the front, slip one, bring the yarn to the back and knit the next one. So don't
Oh, okay.
go back around. So when you're slipping it with the yarn in front, just slip it, move it to the back, and then knit the next stitch.
Okay, all righty.
Yeah.
That's
Because that's the mock I cord. But what's nice about it is that it has a lot of stretch. So when you block it, but it's not like doing a full I cord on the sides.
okay. Thank
it's
you.
beautiful. Yeah, that edge is really beautiful. It's really nice. Let's see who else we haven't spoken to. Lori, everything going well with you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm okay now. Oh, the other one. Okay, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Other Lori, you have two Loris.
Okay. Everything's okay, Lori? With you on your end?
Do you mean me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I came in late. I'm babysitting grandchildren today and got in. I redid it twice. I started over twice, but I think I'm doing okay now. I'm almost done the first section.
You know, it seems like every time I start a knitting project, I have the kind of diving into it and getting into the rhythm of it. You know, I find I often have to start again. So
Right. Yeah. No, it was
shame in
fine.
that.
There are a lot of steps and details, but I think that's the beauty of the pattern too.
And it makes it easy because every little thing, I mean, there's just do that little thing and then do the next little thing.
Right. If you can follow directions.
Right. Right. Okay. How about the other Lori? Where did she go? Did she leave us? We're losing people here. Oh, we talked to the other Lori. I'm sorry. Okay. What about who else we haven't spoken with? Linda, Pat. Want to make sure everybody gets a chance. Sue, did we talk to you?
You did a couple of times.
Okay. All right. Very good. I'm sorry. Sometimes there's a lot of things.
I'm just about to start. I literally finished a blanket half an hour before this started. So I've just picked this up, but my goal was to finish that blanket so that I could start this. I didn't want to have two things going at once. So I'm about to start. I'm thankful for all of the little tips already. I think they're going to help me not to have to rip out beginning things. And it looks like from when you showed your shawl from the beginning, when you do your yarn overs, you're just knitting them. You're not like knitting from the back to twist them to make, right? You want
them to be open.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, I twisted mine. So that's wrong, because otherwise it's too big a hole.
Yeah. I'm
Is
sorry.
that a problem?
Who's talking?
Gail. Waving.
I didn't do it. I mean, it's one of those things where I would never specifically say, but I opted not to because I just left it open for blocking that curve. But I mean, honestly, you'll probably be just a-okay knitting through the back.
Okay. I don't like big holes, even when I'm making legs. I tend to do that. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. I will have to miss the next session, but it's being recorded, so I can catch up.
Absolutely, it's being recorded, and it's the YouTube channel is in the emails, but I can put it here again. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Just look in the emails that I've been sending. Sorry, I had to
Okay.
clear all my cache and cookies yesterday. My computer had a little nervous breakdown. So things aren't coming up as quickly as they usually do. Anyway, let's get everybody back on here and
Goodbye.
and say goodbye. But thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mary. Bless your heart. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. I felt very intimidated to be able to guide people through it. So I think we're going to be just fine now.
All right. But you know, Pam, just get a hold of me if you need me to pop back in sometime. I'm happy to do it.
Okay. All right. We'll do. Okay, everybody. We'll see you on the
Thank
Facebook
you,
group and we'll see
everyone.
you in a couple weeks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mary.
Bye.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.